I think everybody overhypes and glorifies SOPs. Now, I love them. We have a lot of them. But if you don't have these things, if you don't have this dialed in, and the reason I know this is true is because it happened to us, you'll create SOPs for everything, and you'll never use the SOP frequently enough to benefit from the fact of having an SOP in the first place. But you'll have wasted all this time documenting stuff. So that being said, here's a few ways that we approach this. First, I got to give a shout out to my friend Chris Ronzio. Runs a company called Tranual. It's all about, it's a software for building training manuals for your team, for other people to do. So like if you want to train someone to do stuff, but he says there's something really powerful here. I think this concept of SOPs and documenting stuff so you can give it to other people is taken too far in many cases. And what he says is there's actually a line, there's a difference between learning to do and doing. You don't want to hire someone and have them always having to read your SOP to do the work. That's not efficient. You want to hire smart people and you want to teach them and train them using a document or an SOP to do the thing that you want them to like learn how to do it. But then when they go to do it every single day, they shouldn't need that SOP anymore. So the SOP I think of as more of like here's the SOP to like get you dialed into the process as a whole. But then likely what you're going to have is some sort of daily checklist or weekly checklist that is, if you do those things, you'll have achieved the result of what that SOP shows you how to do. Does that make sense? And so if we can agree that that makes more sense than hiring a VA and having them follow this 12-page SOP every single time they do a step, which is what a lot of people teach, hire someone that is smart and you can teach them how to do it up front, and then they're free to do it, each and every time. But they have a checklist of some sort to kind of gut check and make sure that they're doing it correctly. A lot of these things come into place when you're going to hire someone to do something for you, right? Like you're going to hire a VA or an executive assistant or a salesperson or a marketing assistant, whatever, right? So I learned this actually from a combination of the book Who and a guy by the name of Alex Charfen. And they talk about this thing called a job scorecard. And a simplified version of that, in my opinion, is what Alex Charfen calls the 4R document. Now, the 4R document is a document, imagine a Google document, okay? And it's broken up into 4 sections. Role. So this role is the role of the marketing associate. And you are kind of a paragraph of like big picture overview of the role and the definition of the role and importance of the role, right? Then we have role, we have responsibilities, then we have results that we expect this person to create, and then we have our requirements, okay? Google Doc that has these 4 things on it broken up. When we want to hire anybody, they do not get hired if this document does not exist first. And we need to have all of these sections filled out. And so really what we look at is, okay, what are the results? You can call this KPIs or whatever. Like, what is the outcome that should be achieved when this person does these things that they are responsible for? What skills and experience do they need to have in order to achieve said results, right? So like if you can fill out these 4 sections for the thing that you want to hand off, you'll be very clear, right? What you'll find often is you might have executive assistant as the role here, and you might realize that, holy crap, we expect them to like have a lot of responsibilities. And you might say, oh wow, like this is more than an executive assistant role. This might be, a marketing assistant. This might be a sales rep. Like, One thing that I think happens is that we obviously wear multiple hats. Even if you are wearing multiple hats, I think you should do this document for each of those hats, because at some point you're not going to offload all of the hats. You're going to probably offload one of them at a time, and they might have to be separate people. Like our executive assistant, she got really good at one area of things, and she evolved into taking on more stuff, which then we needed her to offload the stuff that she's now no longer doing, and we needed that defined it as a role, right? Like it's actually a marketing assistant. So like, what does she do? What are all the things she's doing that is tied to marketing assistant, right? So this document unlocks to the, if we look at kind of this section here, if we look at this responsibilities, this can be broken into a few things. The first thing is the communication cycle. I think this is really important if you have a team or if you're trying to grow a team or offload stuff. And there's an internal and an external potentially. So what I mean by that is the role might be externally facing. So like if you're an executive assistant, internal communication is, hey, here's when we talk as a team, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Here's how we talk. We use Slack. We use a Zoom call at these times. Here's the protocol for how we use Slack, the channels, the rules, whatever. External is, you're going to be talking to vendors. And here's the cadence. We do an event once a quarter. So once a quarter, you're going to be talking to a hotel or an event organization company or who are you talking to, at what frequency, how are you communicating with them? Because then when you go to hire, if you're hiring someone who has external communication, a sales rep, and they have no experience using Zoom or using a telephone, you're probably not going to want them to be on the phone selling people, right? Like they don't know how to use these things. And so it really starts to become a filter for how we hire. So you have your 4R document, you write out in a document, hey, here's our internal communication, here's the potential external communication for you in this role. And then the piece that you're all waiting for is this one, which is the second, which is just the basically daily checklist. So for each role, we have a document that is broken up into 3 parts. And that basically is beginning of the day, middle of the day, end of the day. And we say, hey, these are the activities that you should be doing at the beginning of the day, the middle of the day. So ultimately, we design a structure for what their day should look like. Now, depending upon the role, some people's days might change from day to day. So you might need to say, hey, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays look like this. Or, once every week, this is what your days look like. Or once every month, this is what your days look like. But pretty much 80% of the time, this is what your day looks like. And this starts to give you like a framework for when someone comes on board. Here's the SOP that you all need. Okay? Record a video talking through this document. Okay? So, hey, this video is me walking through your responsibility as the executive assistant. So here's what the role is all about. Read whatever you wrote here. Your responsibilities include read whatever is on this document. Like literally walk through this document. All right. End video 1. You have 1 video. Do another video talking about communications. Do the last video about their daily checklist. You have 3 videos that when you hire this person, you say, hey, watch these 3 videos. That's your onboarding. Let's get started. Like, then you can jump into them kind of getting started, which I recommend a process, which I believe I learned from Dan Sullivan from Strategic Coach. And it's a 3-step process. It's I do, we do, you do. So you're going to watch me do it. Then we're going to do it together, and then I'm going to watch you do it. So the same task, and so they get to shadow you. You guys do it together. Then you let them do it on their own, and you watch over their shoulder without helping, and you kind of go through that process on the different things you might have on that daily checklist. Like I would do that. I would do this for pretty much every little thing that's on this document. And if you take the first couple weeks of bringing someone on to help you and you give them that, you will have probably successfully offloaded all of those things way faster than you possibly could have imagined. And it would be way easier than, expecting them to go sift through this 40-page document. Hey, so I hope you liked that little segment. That was from an interview that I just did recently. And I really, time and time again, have seen so many people kind of take this whole SOP thing overboard. And I hope this found you in a place where it now seems a little bit simpler and more manageable, and you can create a couple videos, a couple resources really quickly, and be onboarding someone to take things off your plate really quickly and have them up to speed. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click subscribe, because we release a new video each and every week. And if you want to get more free training like this, check out our free Facebook group. There's a link below in the description. I do a live training similar to this every single Wednesday in that group, and we'd love to have you. Just visit altagency.com/group or check out that link in the description. And leave you with this. Leave a comment. What is the biggest takeaway that you've had around SOPs and handing and delegating things off that you've got from this video? Drop that in the comments and let's have a conversation about it, and I'll see you there.